The FANO militia, a group of Amhara people who believe their ethnic group is very important, grew out of protests in 2016. These protests happened because people were unhappy with the government, which was led by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF. The Amhara people, the second largest ethnic group in Ethiopia, felt left out and not important in politics. FANO, which means volunteer in the Amharic language, started as a group that protected their own people. They wanted to protect Amhara interests and lands. FANO has deep roots in Amhara history and who they are. The group takes inspiration from the region's warrior history and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. FANO fighters often wear crosses, showing their religion and where they come from. Their beliefs are a mix of nationalism, strong religious feelings, and feeling wronged in the past. This powerful mix has made them a strong force in Ethiopian politics. At first, FANO focused on land. They wanted Welkait, Kafta Humra and Segedi to be part of the Amhara region. These areas, historically Amhara, were controlled by Tigray during the TPLF's rule. Many Amharas felt they had been treated unfairly in the past, and FANO's actions spoke to them. As more people joined, FANO changed from a loose group into a more organized militia. When General Asaminyo Siga was released from prison in 2018, things changed for FANO. Siga, a strong Amhara nationalist, made the movement stronger. He got more fighters and put Amhara nationalists into the security forces. His leadership made FANO a powerful military and political force. But he didn't lead for long. He was killed in 2019 in a mysterious incident. The Metemma massacre in January 2019 was a terrible event in the Amhara region. FANO militias and regional forces were involved in the killing of 58 Kemant people in the town of Metemma. The Kemant, a smaller group within the Amhara region, had problems with the Amhara for a long time. Many people condemned the massacre as a horrible act of violence. It showed the growing ethnic divisions in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian National Defense Force, or NDF, didn't act quickly in Metemma. This made people wonder if they were involved or if they couldn't control FANO. This event made things worse between the government and the Amhara people, who felt that their safety wasn't being taken seriously. The Metemma massacre was a scary sign of the increasing violence to come. In September 2019, violence happened again. This time it started when FANO members killed 4 people from a Kemant family. This led to more revenge killings, making the ethnic divide even deeper. These clashes showed that FANO was becoming bolder and more willing to use violence to get what it wanted. In March 2020, a FANO leader clearly stated their goals. They wanted to control Metkal Zone, Welkait, Raya, and Dera areas with many Amhara people. This made things even more tense with the government and nearby regions. When the Tigray War started in November 2020, it created both a chance and a problem for FANO. The TPLF, their old enemy, was now fighting the Ethiopian government, but the war could also make the country less stable and worsen ethnic tensions. In the end, FANO joined forces with the NDF against the TPLF. FANO did well in some battles, but they were also accused of very bad things. FANO fighters, driven by past grievances and wanting revenge, helped capture Western Tigray. But their involvement came at a terrible price. There were reports of FANO fighters committing ethnic cleansing, stealing and killing Tigrayan civilians without trials. If these reports are true, these actions would be considered war crimes. The alliance between FANO and the NDF was like a marriage where the partners didn't trust each other and wanted different things. They both wanted to defeat the TPLF, but FANO had other goals too. Their involvement in the war made it hard to tell the difference between local militias, regional forces, and the national army. This mix-up would have a big impact on Ethiopia's future. Section 4. The Amhara Rebellion ignites, a nation divided. The shaky peace after the Tigray War didn't last. By April 2023, things were very tense between the government and FANO. The government wanted to make regional special forces, including those from Amhara, part of the national army. FANO strongly opposed this. They thought the government was trying to take away their power and make it harder for the Amhara people to defend themselves. The killing of Girma Yeshitila, the leader of the Prosperity Party in Amhara, made things much worse. Yeshitila, an important Amhara politician, was seen as someone who could connect the government and the Amhara people. Many people blamed FANO hardliners for his assassination. This destroyed any remaining hope for a peaceful solution. In August 2023, the tension turned into a war. FANO launched a surprise attack and quickly took control of important towns in the Amhara region, including the historical city of Lalibela, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The government declared a state of emergency and sent the ENDF to stop the rebellion. Ethiopia was now in a new conflict, even more complicated and possibly more destructive than the Tigray War. Section 5. A House Divided. FANO's Fragmented Leadership. As the Amhara rebellion grew, it became clear that FANO didn't have one single leader. The movement had many different groups with different goals and plans. It was hard for them to work together. Some groups wanted to talk and find political solutions, while others wanted a full-blown war with the government. This made it hard for FANO to fight the ENDF effectively and achieve its goals. Trying to get everyone under one leader didn't work. Eskinder Nega, a well-known opposition figure and former political prisoner, was chosen to lead FANO, but several important groups didn't accept him. They didn't think he was the right person or that he truly cared about their cause. This showed the deep mistrust and rivalries within the movement. By the summer of 2024, FANO had split into 6 main groups, each doing its own thing. These groups were all Amhara and had similar complaints against the government, but they had very different beliefs, goals and ideas about negotiating. This made it much harder to stop the fighting or have peace talks, as the government now had to deal with many different armed groups, each with its own demands. Section 6. The human cost of conflict, mass arrests, and civilian suffering. The Amhara rebellion has been terrible for the regular people. Caught between FANO and government forces, ordinary Amharas have suffered greatly. Mass arrests, people being forced from their homes, and a breakdown of law and order have become everyday life. The conflict has created a lot of fear, and many people are trapped in a humanitarian crisis. In the months after the rebellion started, a joint task force of the ANDF and Amhara Regional Security Forces arrested many people. Thousands of people thought to be supporting FANO were arrested, often without good reason and without warrants. These people, including judges, lawyers, teachers and reporters, were held in temporary camps with bad conditions and forced to go through training. The conflict also made existing problems worse, creating a terrible humanitarian situation. People have a hard time getting basic things like healthcare, clean water and sanitation. The healthcare system is failing, there aren't enough medical supplies or doctors, and this is especially bad for vulnerable people like women, children and the elderly. The ongoing violence makes it hard to deliver aid, leaving many people in desperate need.